Hi, Racer fans. Are you ready for some football? Well, we are into week number 2 as the Racers get ready to host Central Arkansas, and the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher begins right now. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. Dave Winder here, your host, as the Racers have just finished up with Florida State. And here we are. We're moving into the home opener Saturday against Central Arkansas. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff here at Roy Stewart Stadium. And, folks, we need a big, big crowd out on Saturday, and we'll look forward to the home opener. And I know Coach Hatcher's looking forward to that as well, Coach. And, you know, we're coming off the opener at Florida State. 69-3 defeat for the Racers, but what an experience going out of Tallahassee, a place that you've got a lot of history with.
Well, our guys went down, and I thought, we competed well, considering the circumstances. There was a big disparity there in talent across the board. We got a few guys that could play for Florida State, but all in all, it was a mismatch from the get-go. But we competed hard. After watching the film, all of our guys, they gave all they had, and we had nobody bow down from the power that Florida State brought on the football field. So from that standpoint, that really makes me feel good. And the big thing with us is we came out of there almost injury-free. We had a couple guys that were nicked up that will have to miss this upcoming ball game. But all in all, we came out in good shape and in good spirits, for such a lopsided defeat.
Well, we're going to go ahead and roll the highlights here and take a look at the first half tape from Doak Campbell Stadium. We had a F-18 Hornet flyover, the national anthem. That was really, really neat to see. And Coach, describe your feeling and the team's feeling as you get ready to start after spring practice, a long fall camp, and bam, here we are in front of over 70,000 people.
We were we were very relaxed, and our guys knew. We didn't really hype the game up that much. We knew it'd be very tough. And I talked about the week before that special teams are the biggest difference in games like this. And you could see early on they were just very fast, and the speed of the game was very tough, and we were backed up, so we had to go to our tight punt, which when you do that, you don't get great coverage. But we kicked a good kick out of there, and they did a good job of blocking us, and all of a sudden, here we're down 7-0 right off the get-go. But once that was over with, we kind of settled in a little bit and started playing some good football.
Well, we noticed here too, Coach, here's the new rule in effect. Your helmet comes off. You got to come out for a play.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm not a big fan of the rule. It happens, and I think you're more aware of it now, strictly because of the guy has to come out of the game. But here we try to fake one in there, and we get crossed up out wide and throw an interception. As good as a punt at this point. I was really proud of our defense. Early on, great play there. I believe that was Julian Whitehead, Doc as we call him, made a really good play. We forced them to punt. And the big thing with us, we had such poor field position early in the game. We didn't do much. We punted back to him. That's Darian Skinner, Jr., a Florida native on the play. I thought he did a good job. And
here's Skinner again.
Well, that's Whitehead again making the play, and then we forced a fumble. Unfortunately, they recovered it. But early on, I tell you, our defense, man, they played good. And here's a guy that I'm excited about, Jordan Morrow from out in California. And, on this vaunted defense Florida State had, anytime we gained a yard, we were excited. Good play there. You can't really see him, but that's Navarre Griffin picking up a first down. Real proud of his play during the course of the game. But it was just, try to milk the clock, gain a few yards here or there. And, at our level, that would be about a 15-yard gain and end up being about a 3-yard gain when it was all said and done. But defensively, again, here's a big play. Josh Manning out of LaGrange, Georgia, from Southwest Community College. getting his first 4-year action, and boy, he played a great game. In fact, we don't usually do this after a defeat, but we made him the special teams player of the week. Played very well. But again, the theme is we competed. Walter Powell there, he had 9 catches on the night. Had a great day. Fred Harvey, 43 there, forced a fumble. His first collegiate game out of Memphis. And we got high hopes for him. We had a bunch of young guys playing, made some mistakes, Dave, but all in all, I think we learned a bunch about ourselves, and I think we took more positives out of the game than negatives.
Well, we're now to the second quarter. You probably noticed that we reversed the sides of the field. This is 12:20 before the half. Watkins makes a nice catch here, and Coach, there were 2 drives there in the second quarter where you started pushing it down. I think you got 3 first downs on one, you had 3 on the other, and you started looking really comfortable, I thought, on offense. It looked like you were starting to get some things going.
We did. We really did. Here's another big first down run by Casey. We were going against a top 5 defense in the country last season. We just had a hard time finishing drives, and Benton there comes in and misses his first career attempt. Just kind of looked up a little bit, but our defense held and run a little play action pass. Walter Powell again. We get a 15-yard penalty tacked on, so we're driving again. And I was real proud. That defensive front of theirs. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know that I'll ever face a front that good. And then a big play on a little end cut to Dontel Watkins out of Nashville, Tennessee, to get us a first down. And then Benton comes in, and Murray native, Murray High, Tiger, kicks it through for our only points of the night.
Well, the Racers have had a long history of kickers from Murray High School doing very, very well here. So then we go to the half here, Coach. It's 28-3, and the Racers are competing against one of the top teams in the country in Florida State. So we're going to take a break here with head coach Chris Hatcher on the Racer Report, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at the second half as the Racers were on the big stage this past weekend in Tallahassee. We'll do that next on the Racer Report.
Like the thoroughbreds we are named for, racers are spirited and proud. We have the heart and will to succeed, to go farther, learn more, and embrace wisdom. We are champions who take our place in the Murray State tradition. We are racers.
Roof Brothers, a Paducah tradition for 100 years. Roof Brothers, locally owned, family run. Roof Brothers, the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits found anywhere. Roof Brothers, service from selecting that special beverage for that special occasion to a keg party at the lake. Roof Brothers, 2 locations to serve you. Roof Brothers, proud supporters of Murray State Athletics.
Hi, folks, and welcome back to the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. We're going to roll the second half highlights here and take a look at it from Florida State. So, Coach, we get into the second half here, and we all knew that you're up against a great team. It kind of got out of hand in the second half, and we're keeping track of participation upstairs, and almost everybody that you brought on the trip got into the game in the second half.
We did. We held a few guys out on purpose, and again, we were plagued by poor field position. Jordan Morrow makes a good across the field run here. that would have just left us a few yards shy of a first down, and we got a block in the back on the play, and then so we get backed up, and we end up fumbling. I believe this is I don't know if we got it in there. Good. I'm glad we don't have it in there. But all we're able to do is just really throw some short stuff, run it up the middle. And there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
I was kind of hoping it wasn't there, but we fumbled. They get a cheap one there. I tell you, it was just really tough. I kind of equate it to me and you going over and pushing against a brick wall for 30 game minutes, which equals about 2 hours of time, and it doesn't move. And then all of a sudden, man, you're just physically exhausted. And coming out of halftime, I knew we were going to be that way, because we really competed good. It was 14-0 for a long time, 21-3, and then they got a late one at the end of the half. Some good highlights here. Stephen Mix punted the ball well. Darian Yavi, a guy we're really high on here, gets the fumble recovery. We got a good little drive going. I was going to pull the starters out until we got that fumble. And I said, no, let's try to go down and score one more time. We get down here close. This actually may have been one of our better executed drives. Here's a great play again. Walter Powell, man, he just found a way to get himself open. Casey did a good job of keeping the drive alive with his feet.
And then I thought maybe Davis was going to get his feet in bounds.
Yeah, but I was hoping he would. That's Janowski Davis out of Mobile, Alabama, true freshman. That was a fourth down play that I decided, take that back, Dave. That was a third down. We come back, 4th and 2. We got a guy open. We can't get it off. Could have settled for the field goal, but I was trying to get a touchdown down there. And then my other thought was if we didn't get it, it made them – they would have to eat that much more clock off driving the ball down the field.
Well, Coach, later on here in the second half, K.D. Humphreys got some time. He's in there. We saw some of Pokey Harris, and then even Spencer Phillips got in there a little bit. But the observation I take home from this is I didn't see any deer in the headlights at the start of this game. I thought your team came out and played the game that we wanted to play. It was just you're against the number 7 team in the country.
Well, there's no question about that. When I look at the way the game unfolded, we wanted to play the first half, with our starters and get as much work as we possibly could. Then after the midway point of the third quarter, I believe it was 35-3. Boy, we cleared the benches. We're going to get a lot of people, a lot of playing time, and then actually rest the starters. There was no sense in putting them in jeopardy of getting hurt in a game that was out of hand. And I look at the final score, I don't think that's indicative of the way we played.
Right.
I would have, if we kept our guys in there, 45-17 would have probably been the final. But, hey, it is what it is. I heard that the check cashed, and now we're ready to start our new season.
There you go. And the season all starts on Saturday at home here at Stewart Stadium. And Central Arkansas comes in. We're going to talk about them before the day is over here. But we'll take another break here on the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. Come back with more in just a moment.
Roof Brothers, a Paducah tradition for 100 years. Roof Brothers, locally owned, family run. Roof Brothers, the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits found anywhere. Roof Brothers, service from selecting that special beverage for that special occasion to a keg party at the lake. Roof Brothers, 2 locations to serve you. Roof Brothers, proud supporters of Murray State Athletics.
explora un nuevo mundo.
여러 가지 경험들을 많이 체험하세요.
आइए और अपना जहां खुद बनाइए.
Itsalo chenu ukusanga.
عالم جدير بالاكتشافات.
Entdecke deine Welt.
Twój świat do odkrycia.
Dünyanızı keşfedin.
創造你的未來。
Feresve velünk a világot.
Tất cả những điều tốt đẹp nhất đang chờ đón bạn.
Dunia Anda untuk dijelajahi. 探索你的世界。
Murray State University, your world to explore.
Hi, folks, and welcome back to the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. After the game in Tallahassee on Saturday, we had a chance to catch up with a couple of Racer players to get their thoughts about the game. And we'll begin with offensive lineman Andy Mahoney, and then after that, wide receiver Walter Powell. What are some of the positives, not only for the offensive line, but for everybody that you guys can take out of this game?
Well, this is it's a tough environment to play in, and we gave up a sack early on the O-line, but after that, we held them out pretty well, and we're only going to get better from here.
Well, tell us about what it's like to come back home Saturday at the Stewart Stadium, the track, Racer One's there, and the Racers to get ready to play some home football.
Oh, it's always fun to play at the track. It's all of our fans are going to be loud. I hopefully break a record this year for attendance, and it's going to be fun. And they're always loud, and they get us into the game, and it's fun.
What did you expect out of this game tonight coming in here? I mean, you guys knew you were up against a very, very good team.
Yeah, we knew they were a good D-line, and their defense is tops in the nation, one of the best in the nation. And we just wanted to play well, just prove ourselves. We're going to learn from this game, and we'll move on.
How was it out there? It seemed like I would see some daylight, and then, boy, that FSU defense would close the gap pretty quick.
Yeah, it was the game speed was much different. Like you could tell from like D1 AA to D1 FCS football and stuff.
Tell me what it's going to be like to go back home and in front of our home fans.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I just can't wait so we could like put on a real Racer show.
What's the best thing about playing at home?
The horse. The horse running around the track. So scoring as many touchdowns as we can so we can get that horse tired.
Well, Coach, talking with some of the players afterwards, I felt like everybody walked out of there with their heads held high. And that's because the team gave everything they had.
Well, there's no question about it. Being a competitor, you try to win the game. I don't know what your golf game's like, Dave, but, that would be like us going out and playing an even par round at the Murray Country Club.
Which is probably not going to happen.
Well, and Tiger Woods, we're playing Tiger Woods, and he shoots 56 out there, So it is what it is. It was a tough battle from the get-go. We played a top 10 opponent at a level above us. And our guys understood, and I was real proud of them. We competed hard. Again, the theme, but more importantly, we came out of there. Our spirits were high, and actually, Sunday night was the best practice we've had up to date. That's after a defeat like that. So our guys realize our season starts now. Right. And I said 2 weeks ago in a staff meeting, I told our staff, if we had to win one out of the first two, it would be over Central Arkansas, because that, to me, that's going to mean more towards our ultimate pursuit of being a OVC champion, as well as going into the playoffs.
Well, we're going to talk about Central Arkansas in just a moment, but Coach, before we end this segment here, I would like to make the observation of the amount of organization and people it takes to move a football team down to Tallahassee, set up shop in a couple of hotels, have everything there. There's a lot that goes into this just to get the guys on the field, isn't there?
Well, there's no doubt about that.
I mean, that's every day for practice.
Well,
too.
yeah. We mobilized over 130 people down there, and everybody has a job to do. Give credit to Fulton Hart, and with just as smooth as it could possibly go. You're counting on a lot of people. You're counting on the plane being there on time. You're counting on the weather being nice. When you get to the place that you're going, you're counting on the buses being there. Counting on all the rooms to be ready. So there's a lot of things that are out there, but the travel was very smooth, and I thought that our guys handled themselves with great class. And, all in all, hey, it was a good trip for us. It was a good atmosphere for our guys to play in front of. But I really think after practice, after the game, that our guys are extremely glad that one's over with, and they're extremely excited about getting back to playing our level of ball.
Well, and that's one thing, too. I could say on Sunday night, the team turned the page from the first game and already getting in to the second game. So we're going to take a break here on the Racer Report with Chris Hatcher, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Central Arkansas. They had an interesting weekend as they kicked off their season at Ole Miss. We'll talk about that next.
Explora un nuevo mundo.
여러 가지 경험들을 많이 체험하세요.
आइए और अपना जहां खुद बनाइए.
Ichalo chenu ukusanga.
عالم جدير بالاكتشافات.
Entdecke deine Welt.
Tvoj świat do odkrycia.
Dünyanızı keşfedin.
創造你的未來。
Ferestre Veruca Vilagot.
Tất cả những điều tốt đẹp nhất đang chờ đón bạn.
Dunia Anda untuk dijelajahi, 探索你的世界。
Murray State University, your world to explore.
Roof Brothers, a Paducah tradition for 100 years. Roof Brothers, locally owned, family run. Roof Brothers, the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits found anywhere. Roof Brothers, service from selecting that special beverage for that special occasion to a keg party at the lake. Roof Brothers, 2 locations to serve you. Roof Brothers, proud supporters of Murray State Athletics.
Hey, Racer fans, don't forget to check out the homepage of the Murray State Racers. That's GoRacers.com. We hope that you'll enjoy the streaming audio on game day, and we also have a link to the OVC page where you can see streaming video. And we have a new live stats format this season as well. So check all that out on the homepage of the Racers, GoRacers.com. We're back here on the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher down on the first floor of Roy Stewart Stadium. And this week is the home opener, 6 o'clock here at the stadium, Saturday night against Central Arkansas. And Coach, Central Arkansas played at Ole Miss over the weekend. They had the lead at the half, and I was just kind of looking at my score here, lost at 49-27. They did a lot of good things in that game.
Well, our schedule is not very favorable early on in the year. You know, we got a top-ranked opponent coming to our place. A team I'm very familiar with. It goes back to my Valdosta State days. Central Arkansas was in the Gulf South Conference. Clint Conk, their head coach. We've done battle many a time.
And he's in his 12th year there.
Yep, actually we're 6-1 against him. We got beat. We got a field goal block 2 years ago down there that would have won the ball game for us.
2010.
So that sticks with me pretty hard. So we got a lot to play for this week, but they're going to be a great opponent, very well coached defensively. They're sound. They're very physical offensively. They're going to want to come in and run the football right at you. They got a lot of play action pass. They screen really good. They run the back. They throw to the backs good. Very balanced football team. I told my guys that this possibly could be the best team we played in the FCS this season. So we got our work cut out for us. It's going to be a very difficult challenge for our team.
Well, we're looking forward to it, and we want to make the call out to all Racer fans here to be here on Saturday. Come out early and tailgate. And you, Coach, I heard you say Sunday night after practice, hey, we haven't won for a while. Would you take the off season and going back? The Racers want to get a win, and the fans haven't been able to come and watch the Racers since last November too.
Well, I know
we played to have everybody out.
Well, we played that last game against SEMO on the road, and so it has been quite some time. So we do. It's very important to have a big crowd. That was the thing about being at Florida State. That was it was so much fun having a big crowd there, seeing your place and seeing you play. So, yeah, we need the fans out because, this is a big, big game for us.
Okay, so we're looking forward to it. 6 o'clock Saturday here at the stadium against Central Arkansas. Our last break here with Coach Hatcher on the Race Report. Coming up, we'll look ahead to the schedule and the games coming up after this Saturday here in just a moment.
Like the thoroughbreds we are named for, racers are spirited and proud. We have the heart and will to succeed, to go farther, learn more, and embrace wisdom. We are champions who take our place in the Murray State tradition. We are racers.
Roof Brothers, a Paducah tradition for 100 years. Roof Brothers, locally owned, family run. Roof Brothers, the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits found anywhere. Roof Brothers, service from selecting that special beverage for that special occasion to a keg party at the lake. Roof Brothers, 2 locations to serve you. Roof Brothers, proud supporters of Murray State Athletics.
And we're back here on the Racer Report, ready to wrap things up with head coach Chris Hatcher. Taking a look at the schedule ahead for the Racers. The next game after this weekend will be at Missouri State. We'll have that one on the Racer TV network. That'll be our first broadcast. So we'll have that live on the local cable systems in the Purchase area. So we'll look forward to that. And then, Coach, right after that, you're opening up OVC play, and we're going to get going here with games. But this is a big one this week. As you've said before, it's big because it's the next one on the schedule. It's big because you just played Florida State. It's big because you're at home, and it would be great to come out and see a big crowd and see a great effort by the Racers and see Racer One run around a little bit.
Well, I think we still have a lot of questions to answer with our team. We did see some good things, but we were very vanilla. I mean, it was kind of, let's play base defense, let's play base offense, let's milk the clock, get out of the ball game. So we got a lot of questions still to be answered. But, this would be a big feather in our cap. I mean, this team, Central Arkansas, has a lot of returners from the team that beat Tennessee Tech last year, our conference champion, and beat them soundly at Tech in the first round of the playoffs. So it is a good team. Very well, again, I say very well coached. I haven't really had an opportunity to study them like I will over before we get ready to play. I can assure you we'll be ready for the game. But again, talked about it in this segment before, need a big crowd out there. Hopefully Racer One's warmed up, and hopefully she'll have to run a whole bunch because a win this week, boy, will really put us in a good position to make those playoffs as the season progresses.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have, Coach.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you for stopping by.
Sir.
Thank you for stopping by, too, on the Racer Report. And as we leave you today, one of our traditions here in the Racer Report, we leave you with the voice of the Racers, Neil Bradley.
And Benton on to try his first, to get his first field goal. It has the distance. This one's good. Snap back. Mix, another line drive type kick. Taken on the run, then dropped in the pile. The Racers claim they have it, and the officials agree. Wasn't really a good idea by the return man who tried to fool the Racers into thinking he's going to let it drop and then run up and try to catch it.